Ever wondered how to make the perfect beef stroganoff at home? Well, today is your lucky day. Welcome to our culinary journey to Russia, the birthplace of this timeless classic, beef stroganoff, a dish that wraps you in its warm, comforting embrace. A symphony of tender beef, earthy mushrooms, and silky cream, all dancing together in a rich, robust sauce. Each ingredient plays a crucial role. The top sirloin beef, prized for its fine texture, brings a depth of flavor. The white mushrooms, with their unique umami, add a layer of complexity. The onions and garlic lend a sweet, aromatic note. The flour, our unsung hero, thickens the sauce to a perfect velvety consistency. And the heavy cream, sour cream, and Worcestershire sauce combine to create a luxurious, tangy finish. The Dijon mustard, a dash of boldness, and the beef broth tie everything together. And now, it's time to gather your ingredients and let's get cooking. The star of our dish is, of course, the beef. And not just any beef, we're using a pound of top sirloin known for its tenderness and rich flavor. First, let's talk about preparation. Your beef should be cut into thin strips against the grain. This ensures each piece is tender and cooks evenly. You don't want to bite into a chewy piece of meat, do you? Now, on to the cooking. Frying the beef is a delicate process. It's all about achieving that perfect balance. Too little time on the heat and your beef will be raw, too much and it'll turn tough. So, what's the sweet spot? I'd recommend frying each side for about a minute. Keep an eye on the color. Once you don't see any more blood, you're good to go. Be careful not to overcrowd the pan, as this can lower the temperature and cause the beef to steam rather than sear. You want that beautiful brown crust for the extra flavor it imparts. After frying, remove the beef from the pan and set it aside. Don't worry if it's not fully cooked through. It will continue to cook when we add it back to the sauce later on. While we're at it, let's talk about a common myth: sealing in the juices. Contrary to popular belief, searing the meat doesn't seal in the juices, but it does create a delicious crust through a process called the Maillard reaction. This reaction only happens at high temperatures, so make sure your pan is hot before adding the beef. And what about the leftover bits stuck to the bottom of the pan? Those are pure gold. They're called fond and they're packed with flavor. We'll be using them to enhance the taste of our sauce. Remember, quality beef doesn't need much to shine. A sprinkle of salt and a crack of black pepper is enough to elevate its natural taste. With our beef perfectly prepared, it's time to move on to our next key ingredient, the mushrooms. Next up, we have our mushrooms and onions. Now, these ingredients might seem simple, but they carry a mighty weight in our beef stroganoff. They are the unsung heroes that add depth to our dish, providing a lovely texture and a burst of flavor that complements the beef wonderfully. Mushrooms and onions are like the rhythm section of a band. They may not always be in the spotlight, but they hold everything together, providing the steady beat that drives the melody. In our beef stroganoff, they are the backbone that supports and enhances the main star, our top sirloin beef. Our first step is to slice our mushrooms and onions. It's up to you whether you prefer them chunky or thinly sliced. Just remember, the thinner you slice, the quicker they will cook. But no matter how you slice them, they're going to be delicious. Next, we melt 2 teaspoons of butter in a pan. Butter adds a rich, creamy flavor that's just irresistible. Once our butter is melted and our pan is hot, we add our sliced onions and mushrooms. Stir them around, making sure they're all coated in that beautiful golden melted butter. Now, this is where patience comes into play. We want to saute our mushrooms and onions until the sauce is evaporated and the mushrooms turn a lovely golden brown. This might take a bit of time, but trust me, it's worth it. The slow cooking process allows the mushrooms and onions to release their natural juices, which then caramelize and create a flavor base that's absolutely packed with umami goodness. And finally, we add our minced garlic and saute it for another minute. Garlic is a flavor powerhouse, and it adds an extra zing to our dish that makes it truly unforgettable. But be careful not to burn it, as it can turn bitter. Now that our mushrooms and onions are ready, it's time to add some additional flavors to our dish. And don't worry, we've got some real tasty treats in store for you, so stay tuned and keep those taste buds ready. What's a beef stroganoff without its signature sauce? This is the moment where our dish truly begins to take shape. The sauce is the heart of any stroganoff, binding together all the flavors and giving it that comforting, creamy texture we all love. The first ingredient we'll need is flour. Just a tablespoon will do. Flour is essential as it thickens the sauce, giving it that rich, velvety texture that coats every morsel of our dish. Next, we'll need beef broth. 1 cup will be enough. The broth adds depth and a savory element to our sauce, enhancing the beefy flavor. Now let's turn up the creaminess with 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. This gives our sauce that dreamy, silky quality that makes a stroganoff a stroganoff. And we can't forget about the sour cream. 2 tablespoons will add a subtle tang that cuts through the richness, balancing out the flavors beautifully. Now we come to our seasonings. A teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce adds a touch of sweetness and acidity, while half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard provides a gentle heat. Finally, we add half a teaspoon of salt and a sprinkle of black pepper to taste. The key to a great sauce is to whisk it constantly. This ensures all the ingredients are perfectly combined and helps prevent any lumps from forming. The result should be a smooth and creamy sauce that's ready to envelop our beef and mushrooms. Remember, cooking is as much about the journey as it is about the destination. Enjoy the process, feel the rhythm of the whisk, and let the aroma of the sauce fill your kitchen. With our sauce ready to go, we're in the home stretch. It's time to bring it all together. So let's get back to the stove and make some magic happen. We've prepared our beef, our vegetables, and our sauce. Now it's time to bring it all together. This journey has been a flavorful one, filled with sizzling beef, caramelized onions, and golden brown mushrooms. These ingredients have been patiently waiting to merge into a symphony of taste that is our beef stroganoff. The magic truly begins when we start combining these components. First, we reintroduce our star ingredient, the beef. Remember how we fried it just right so it's beautifully browned but still juicy in the middle? We add this back into our pan. This step is essential, as it ensures the beef is heated through, absorbing the creamy sauce and infusing it with its rich, meaty flavor. Next, it's time for the pasta egg noodles. Now you might be wondering why we use egg noodles. Well, their thick, hearty texture holds up well against the rich sauce and beef, and their slightly sweet flavor complements the savory ingredients perfectly. As we stir, we watch the noodles soak up the sauce, turning a tantalizing golden color. The beef, mushrooms, and onions intermingle with the noodles, each bite promising a burst of flavor. We add our final touches, a sprinkle of salt and a crack of black pepper. These humble seasonings are the unsung heroes of the culinary world, enhancing the natural flavors of our dish and tying everything together. As we stir, the aroma fills the room, a delicious testament to the harmony of flavors we've achieved. The stroganoff is simmering gently, the sauce has thickened, and the ingredients have melded together beautifully. Take a moment to appreciate the sight before you. The glossy sauce, the tender beef, the succulent mushrooms, and the hearty noodles, all nestled together in one pan. This is what home cooking is all about. Simple ingredients coming together to create something truly spectacular. And there you have it, a perfect beef stroganoff ready to be enjoyed. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the final result. Our journey began with tender top sirloin beef, which was seared to perfection. The aromatic onions and earthy white mushrooms were sautéed in butter until they turned a beautiful golden brown. The minced garlic added an extra layer of flavor that permeated the dish. The sauce, oh the sauce, a creamy concoction of heavy whipping cream, sour cream, and a dash of Worcestershire sauce and Dijon mustard. The rich beef broth tied it all together, creating a symphony of flavors that danced on the tongue. The final touch, egg noodles, adding a delightful texture to the dish. The result? A hearty, flavorful beef stroganoff that warms the soul and delights the taste buds. Layers of flavor in every bite, a testament to the love and care that went into its creation. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of new cooking ideas at home. Enjoy your meal.